Welcome back. Today is National Dog Day. It's all over my feed. So many products out there for our pets, but is every viral trend worth the investment? Recently, I chatted with Dr. Kelly Fishman, founder of Strut Animal Mobility Specialists, to find out what pet parents should know. Hey, Dr. Fishman, good to see you. I want to get right into it because I have a lot of pet questions to ask you. What are some of the biggest pet wellness trends you're seeing this summer?
Well, I am seeing an explosion of supplements for longevity and muscle health and keeping your dog fit. So everything from peptides to NADH to MYOS PET and Fortitropin. So just tons of supplements.
Wow, interesting. Okay, I know I'm supposed to take them and I don't even do that. So now that we know the trends, which ones are actually worth it, or which ones would you say are necessary for the longevity of our pets?
So what do we have evidence for? Unfortunately, there's no evidence for creatine in dogs, for peptides, for NADH. We just don't have that evidence yet. What we do have evidence for is something called Fortitropin, which has been clinically proven to help dogs maintain muscle mass after surgery and improve mobility in older dogs. So if pet parents want to stick with something that has evidence behind it and works in dogs, certainly doing Fortitropin, which is found in something called MYOS PET, is a great idea.
Okay, really good information there, and thanks for breaking it down in that way. Let's talk about exercise for our puppies, our dogs. Is walking enough exercise for dogs? And then, it's very hot in Atlanta, so how long should we walk them in the heat in Atlanta, and when? Is there a better time?
Yes, so first of all, unless you have a French Bulldog or a small breed dog, unfortunately, just doing a 20-minute walk around the block or going to the dog park is not enough. These dogs are descended from, or most dogs are descended from animals that breeds that have used to working and doing lots of activity. So I always suggest that pet parents do dog fitness, which is something I love to talk about and promote. And dog fitness looks like it does for us. They can do squats, they can do push-ups, they can do jumps, they do warm-ups and cool-downs. And why I love it is because when it's really hot in Atlanta and you have a dog that is lazy, wants to stay inside in the AC, you can do exercises with your dog in your house to keep them fit and strong throughout the year.
Okay, good to know. Okay, speaking of staying inside then with our dogs, do people really use dog treadmills? I've seen those trending, and are those safe for our dogs?
Yes, I love suggesting that parents use them. First of all, we actually talk about, but walking outside on a hot sidewalk in the middle of the day is really rough on our dog's paws. They don't have as much endurance. They can get heat stroke. So certainly, keeping inside as much as possible is a good idea, and you can do that with a dog treadmill. Pet parents just have to be aware that they should use a treadmill that's meant for dogs and meant for dogs of their size, because sometimes the human ones are just not long enough for some of our bigger dogs.
Okay, got it. All right, something else that's trending, those stream water bowls, are those good? Are they a necessity? What are your thoughts?
So my thoughts are, it's a good idea. It's based on the fact that dogs and cats are naturally attracted to streaming water. In the wild, they were going after, rivers instead of stagnant ponds. So it's certainly a great way to get your dog or cat to be enticed to drink, but you don't have to spend the money on that if you don't need to. You could do frozen blueberries to keep them hydrated. You could do things like adding a little bit of water to their canned food or their kibble. There's a lot of ways to keep them hydrated throughout the summer. You don't necessarily have to spend the big bucks on something like a streaming water bowl or a fountain.
Got it. Speaking of keeping them hydrated, I know just as important is to keep them cool. So, doctor, what's the most effective way to cool our dog down, and do those cooling pads work?
The best way to do it is you take a hose and you hose your dog off for a good 15 to 30 minutes with room temperature water. You get their coat really wet, and then you put a fan on them, or you get them into the air conditioning. If you're really concerned, always check with an emergency veterinarian if you think your dog has heat stroke, because sometimes it's really, really tough to tell. But that being said, could you use a cooling pad in an emergency? Not really. It doesn't work that well. It's better keeping them comfortable when it's hot rather than cooling them down if they truly have heat stroke.
All right, Dr. Fishman, a lot of great information packed into a small amount of time. Thank you so much for your time today. How can people connect with you?
Kara, please have people visit my website, strutanimal.com. I have great tips about how to do exercises, everything I talked about, all my supplement picks like the MYOS PET, that's on there. I also have a YouTube and a social media, Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of our viewers will be doing just that. Thank you again, and I can't wait to teach my dog how to do a push-up. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.